I do want to talk Paul George landing spots.
Is he definitely out?
So we don't know. I want to say
Kawhi
it's
was extended?
Kawhi got extended before the postseason,
Huh.
and there were expectations of Paul George also getting an extension. Now, it's the same thing with like LeBron. We just gotta wait and see.
Yeah.
But I want to talk some landing spots because I'm someone that believes that Paul George still, even at this point in his career, can still go be a huge impact on a team. I mean,
Sure.
he he is a player that I mean, it's kind of like it's okay, like you know how we just watched prime James Harden just wither away and at
Dwindle.
nothing but like dwindle away, just nothing.
Just die.
It's like
And he even acknowledged his death. He was like, I'm not going to score 40 points
yeah.
ever again. Like, I'm not that guy anymore. It's
Now
like, all right,
Paul George.
strip
Now
clubs.
I wouldn't necessarily say Paul George was bitching his way out of teams as much, or like wanting the control as much, but that almost might be his downfall.
It is his downfall. He's never really asked for where he wanted to be. He kind of just
I mean,
ended up places.
when he came to the Clippers, he was like, "Oh yeah, Kawhi's the one. He's the guy. Kawhi's the guy." Like he
What's funny
immediately,
to me is that he has that podcast and is like, nope. He's like, they all of them say that. Everyone who's ever met Kawhi, they're like, no one understands, but he's like actually funny. It's like, shut the fuck up. I
yeah,
don't care.
I don't know. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. Kawhi
Quit
Leonard
talking
is
about
funny.
Kawhi. But yeah, they have like this. They have this fantastical view of Kyrie or Kawhi because he has a finals. They're like, he's the golden ticket. He's our
Yeah,
guy.
Paul
We're
George
gonna
is like
run with him. And
he's
then
like
he's
yeah
like, yeah,
he's like he's the number one. He's the first option. He. I just it just seems like no matter where he goes, like in OKC,
yeah,
he knew whose team it was when he was in OKC. He comes here to the Clippers and for some
yeah.
reason assumes that well, I guess everybody made it seem like Kawhi was the new king of LA for some fucking reason. Um, but it seems like he just never has stepped up to demand to be the number one guy. But
No,
I got some
and
landing
I mean, I
spots.
don't think he'll be the number one guy at this point, but he can for sure help.
I do have some landing spots. First team I got is Philly,
Latvia.
not
I think
Latvia.
he would be great in Philly. Huh.
Philly, and this is like a bye bye Tobias situation.
I mean, I really don't understand why he's there or in the NBA. I also don't like the Sixers.
Not in the NBA. Tobias has a spot in the NBA, but no more wasting time or money when it comes to Philly and Tobias Harris. Get Paul George to replace
Well,
that
all
because let's
Philly
be
does
real.
is waste time and money. They're
I
built for
mean,
that.
it's just a way more roided fucking Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. Try out that big three. You got Maxi, Joel, fucking Paul George. I like it. I like it. If they
I
stay
like it a lot.
healthy, it'd be a fun team to watch.
Well, like like we say, yeah, if they stay, there's no fucking chance they're all on the same
Okay,
court at the same time for half a season.
okay. Joel goes down. I got a lot more confidence in a
Tyrese and Paul George than Tyrese and Tobias. Yeah, I agree.
exactly. Yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Way more confidence in that. I got more confidence in a Tyrese Maxey and Paul George duo than I do in a Kawhi and Paul George duo because Kawhi ain't fucking
I
playing.
agree.
San Antonio.
Oh, I did. I brushed San Antonio off as like a garbage team. Um,
Well, I mean, at this
but
moment,
no, no, what? But they have Victor Wembanyama.
I mean, the whole big conversation is like get Victor a star, get Victor a guy to play with. There you fucking go. Paul George,
PG.
obviously some guy who's like, yeah, you can be the star, whatever, it's fine. You're the guy. You're the
You're a foot
superstar.
taller than me. That's cool,
Like he'll let Pop
dude.
tell him whatever the
You
fuck
know,
to
on the
do.
podcast, he's gonna be like, he's just tall.
Bro, his hands are just
Bro,
like,
dude. If you look at his body type, you wouldn't even think he's that tall, but he is that tall, bro. His
his
hands,
hands.
they wrapped all the way around my penis,
His
and then he
come
touched
on,
his fingers.
bro. Come on. All right. San Antonio now, to me this is just more of like a like to be honest with you, it's like Paul George and Vic. Okay, it'd be fun to watch. It'd be cool. There probably have to be a couple more moves made,
Yeah,
but they're not winning anything or doing
no,
anything. And then down the line, it probably just be
it's like a
more.
Demar move, like when the Bulls got Demar, or when the Spurs got Demar. It's like they're cool. It's more fun to watch, but I mean, I know with Wembanyama, they have a shot at maybe being a playoff team or a play-in team at least, but um, yeah, I don't know. I would rather see PG on a squad where he can go for a run.
What about Miami?
Now that is where a guy like Paul George needs to be. He's a West Coast guy, born and raised, but I think he needs some East. Miami's not the East Coast. It's on the East Coast. It's not East Coast. Anything. Nothing about Miami says East Coast except for fucking Puerto Ricans.
Well,
That's it.
I mean, not even that, but it's. I mean, it's the. I mean, it's
It's
on
it's
the
the
east.
LA of.
It's on
It's
the
gross.
East Coast.
Huh?
It's on the East Coast.
No, it is on the East Coast,
Yeah.
but it's not like it's
When you
still
say
Cali vibes.
the East Coast, it's not like, oh yeah, the East Coast. But either way,
But it
um,
would feel like home for him. Um, but yeah, I mean, he'll have a spot to shoot and play with Jimmy buckets and hopefully maybe someone else not named Terry Rozier.
no, well, no. Terry can do whatever the fuck he wants. He can dribble the ball. Doesn't have to do much more because
Go back to
Paul George
Charlotte.
goes there. He's automatically the number one scoring option, the best scoring option. He takes a huge load off of Jimmy, who has been carrying this fucking team for years at this point.
Five,
And
6 years.
And instead of sitting here like begging Bam to like figure out how to like put some type of jumper or pull up in his bag, he just isn't
We've been
relied on.
begging Bam since the bubble to
He's just
get anything.
he's just not relied on as much offensively when you get
No,
to have Paul George in there.
PG's the
So
same fucking height as Bam, and Bam's a center. They only call him a center because he has bricks for hands.
yeah, no, that's the thing about the NBA now. It's like you can be the same exact size, but this
You
one
can't
can,
shoot.
yeah,
Get in the paint.
you've
You don't have
absolutely
to be that big.
you've absolutely no bag. Like
No.
if if I'm Bam, I'm looking at like Al Horford hit corner threes, and I'm
I'm
mad at
studying
myself.
Al Horford's game.
Sure, but I'm also like mad at myself. Like
Yeah,
how am I? How is this? Like how can
this
I not?
this
Like
fucking Dominican.
I'm not gonna lie. If I could just spend like if I don't know. Maybe I'm just hating. But if I'm an NBA player and all I got to do is like play
Put up 15
basketball,
shots a day.
it's like, bro.
1,500, sorry.
Imagine if I could add like a corner three to my bag. Like I'm already dominant in the paint, and I can play great interior defense. But imagine if I could like, have a great like midi pull up game. Like imagine if I could do something else too.
What's crazy to me is like all these guys that you watch an NBA shoot around, they don't miss. And then they walk into a game. And I know everything's contested, it's different and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean
Like
it's
it's not like
like
these guys don't practice and they're not making all these shots.
but it's what you're practicing. You know,
It's true. He needs to practice high speed
I
in
can't sit here
game
and tell you like
jumpers.
but it's not. It's not. Yeah, it's like I can't tell you what the fuck Bam's working on every single day. But I hope it's not what I've been asking for, because if that's the case, fuck, you need a new regimen or something, because I didn't see any changes. I didn't see any improvement. But
No.
either way, Paul George to Miami, I'd like to see, like I said, best scoring option on the team. Takes a big load off of Jimmy and don't have to rely on Bam as much offensively.
And a big load onto that ginger from ESPN.
Who you talking about?
I don't know. The bubble.
What what happened?
Rachel something? What was her name?
Would she? Oh yeah, is that? Are you? Is that your shot?
No, it's not a shot. It was just Jimmy.
Jimmy was
Jimmy was selling coffee and fucking white ladies.
Jimmy was selling coffee and fucking like. Was Jimmy caught fucking a white lady in the bubble or something?
Yeah, the lady used to work for ESPN.
No,
Yes, that
no.
was his lady
But he was in the
in the
bubble.
bubble. Yeah, in the bubble.
Damn, I don't remember that.
Rachel, what the fuck's her name? I don't know.
Why don't I remember that? That's crazy. I don't remember that.
No, yeah, that was the thing.
Okay, here's a fantasy lineup for you.
Fantasy what?
Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Paul George, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen.
Is Donovan Mitchell staying?
Is Donovan Mitchell staying?
Well, so apparently, if Donovan Mitchell does not agree to an extension this season, they will trade him because they do not want to get nothing for him when he hits free agency next year.
Well, replacing Donovan Mitchell with Paul George is a lot better than just missing out on having Donovan Mitchell on your team.
True.
But I'm looking for that matchup or that pairing, especially Donovan Mitchell and Paul George. Now that's the thing. A lineup like this, it's almost too perfect. Like you said, something like
Yeah.
that would happen. Or if they all got to play together, it's like they wouldn't mesh well or something. But that's cool. But something like we've been saying with Paul George this whole time about him being okay with being a second option, knowing he's not the guy. He can walk in there and he knows, all right, this is Donovan Mitchell's team. Let Donovan cook. When I get my shots, I get my shots, and that's fine. But at the same time, you don't have to worry about the guy who's supposed to be number one going out right away every time the playoffs come around every single year.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend like Donovan Mitchell is the healthiest player in the world, but he's not. He's obviously not Kawhi Leonard.
No, yeah, Donovan Mitchell at least wants to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm convinced Kawhi doesn't like to play basketball.
And he always has an excuse.
I don't know.
And it's always like, they're like, oh, Kawhi, it's nice to see you, like, healthy and all this. He's like, yeah, because my knee isn't torn and my ass isn't torn and my back isn't torn and I'm healthy. And it's like, nah, we get that. But, like, you've also missed time because you had a nagging whatever, an ab strain or whatever the fuck, and you had family. Like, he's missed so many games and so much time, and especially important playoff time, for things that aren't super serious. He was like, I feared I could tear an ACL. He's a hypochondriac.
It all started with the Spurs and the hamstring.
The hamstring, yes.
They're like, Kawhi, you're fine. He's like, no, I'm not.
I feel it.
Kawhi, like, you're good, bro. And he's like, no.
Who told you that?
He's like, no, you're good. He's like, no, I can't. But speaking of Kawhi, Clippers. If he returns to the Clippers, if Paul George,
he got extended. Oh,
Paul George returns to the Clippers, the only way he does is if it's no more Kawhi's number one bullshit. You can't have this. Like, you got to go into this season.
PG's taking over?
Paul George has to go into. You got to go into the next season as the Clippers, letting Paul George be the number one and running that team through Paul George, because that's the most likely scenario you're going to have. Like, the most likely scenario in the postseason.
Yeah, like, you have to, like, you can't play basketball like Kawhi will always be there.